Hello and welcome. This is Ina, and today I would like to show you my latest junk journal. Before I start, I would like just to mention that the benefits from the sale of this journal will go to help Ukraine, which is going with incredible courage through the darkest period in its history, fighting against the barbaric Russian aggression. I have been living in France for many years by now, but my homeland is Ukraine, and all my thoughts and prayers are with its people now. The theme of this junk journal is roses and linen. To embellish the cover, I have used this sweet and tender rosebud that I embroidered some time ago. It is done in the so-called needle painting technique, which I learned from the absolutely amazing artist and teacher Trish Burr. Thank you very much, Trish. I have put the link to her website in the description below this video. The journal has a soft textile cover that I made from a 19th century linen tablecloth with an unfinished embroidery of roses. When I came across this tablecloth, it was like a revelation to combine it with my own embroidery. That is how the story of roses and linen, which was started by an unknown crafter's needle more than a century ago, has received its new life in this journal. As you can see, the cover is soft and flexible and still quite robust. As a closure, I have used these metal rings. In fact, they are part of a necklace or bracelet ring lock like this. The twine here is from an antique French ledger. It was used for binding originally. There is also a silk ribbon. The lining here is a gorgeous print linen that I have attached first with a double-sided adhesive. I will show you. It looks like this. It's a French trademark, Lily Pot Colle. Of course, there are many other brands, but this is the one I am using in my crafting. It also exists in double-sided adhesive tape like this, for example. And I have hand-stitched this lining around for more character and more security. The journal measures 23 per 17 centimeters. It is quite chunky. The spine is 7 centimeters large. It has 5 signatures and more than 120 pages, both sides counted. The signatures are sewn by a wax linen thread to a hidden fabric spine, which I have reinforced with tear-proof paper Tyvek. Here to the right you can see the first tuck spot made of antique French lace. And for the journaling card, I have used the famous melancholic drawing by Dante Gabriel Rossetti, The Rose Leaf from 1870. Yes, I have taken it from the book Pre-Raphaelite Drawing by Colin Cruz, published quite recently in 2019. I really love the style of pre-Raphaelite painters. I have a couple of other books on this subject matter in my collection that I like using. I have stitched to this journaling card a very fine and delicate embroidery on white muslin. And I have stamped it with a French expression, La vie est belle, the life is beautiful. Behind the journaling space is from an antique French ledger from the early 20th century. There is a stamp here by the Commercial Tribunal of Toulouse. I've decided to save time. I will not be showing you all the ledgers because most of them I have already shown to you in my previous videos. The scrapbooking paper here is from the collection L'Air du Temps by Toga. It's a French scrapbooking company. Do not worry, I will put all the names in the description of the journal. Let's go on. Here we have two tack spots. I really like the contrast between the soft silk here and the rough linen lace from this side. Here there is a gorgeous advertisement card. It's quite an old one. And an envelope. We cannot see the date, but it is also quite old. From this side there is a postcard which was sent in 1918, yes, and a lovely advertisement page from the diary L'Entrepôt d'Ivry of 1888. The page behind is from an antique French ledger. The tuck spot here is quite special. It comes from the collar of a 19th century linen nightgown. I have also used the same fabric from the same gown as a frame of this journaling card. Those of you who know me, you know that I really like the tactile side of creating journals. Here there are three vintage buttons, and the image comes from one of these books. I will put all the details in the list below. Romantic Roses by Pierre-Joseph Rodouté. Another one, The Book of Flowers, also Pierre-Joseph Rodouté. I have also used for creating some pages in this journal this fantastic book coffret, Roses Brent Elliot. I will indicate all the details in the description. So we have the journaling card here, another antique vintage antique French ledger page. These pages come from French wine merchants' ledgers. This one is from late 19th century, and this one from 1850s, something like that. Let's go on. Here there is a tuck spot made of a vintage lace. I have avocado dyed it. There is a vintage label of toothpaste, an envelope from 1948. By the way, it has its original letter. This letter was sent between France from Gironde to Paris. I thought it might be curious to have it, to explore it. There is also an authentic French champagne label. Here to the right, this page comes from one of the Redouté books, and I have stamped it with some nice, inspiring, meaningful French expressions like courir dans les herbes, run in the meadow, des moments de douceur, sweet moments, etc., etc. Let's go ahead. The page here has a pocket made of antique French lace. By the way, I'm completely addicted to French laces, and this particular journal only contains more than 40 varieties of antique and vintage, mainly antique French laces of all possible types. Here there is a very fine paper with gorgeous handwriting from 1892. In fact, it comes from this book, Copie de lettres. In a book like this, it was a fabrics merchant, I believe, that kept copies of all the correspondence sent out. There is also a antique of 1904 postcard. From this side, you can see absolutely stunning white on white embroidery. For you to be able to fully enjoy it, to see and to touch it from both sides, I have attached it only from one side. Behind, I have put a page like this, which comes from this book, Encyclopédie des ouvrages des dames, par Thérèse de Dilmont, the Encyclopedia of Needlework by Thérèse de Dilmont from the early 20th century. The page behind is from another antique French ledger. This one is a notary ledger. Behind there is a very nice butterfly scrap picture. Here you have a fantastic sample of another style of French lace. This one is the lace of Luxeuil. Another extract from the Encyclopedia of Needlework. The paper here is handmade paper with, as you can see, rose petals. There is some fabulous antique lace again. There is also an authentic vintage French wine label with a gorgeous rose. And I have also put here a page from sorry, this book. It's a poetic Latin French dictionary of 1965. Yes. Here you have some gorgeous fabric, and I have fussy cut the same fabric, the same flower, to attach from this side. Here to embellish this page, I have used very famous French fabric known as toile de Juillet print, with some vintage glass buttons. And this paper here comes from the diary, the Grand Magasin du Louvre, for 1913, which was written in 1915. More lace. Here you have some English embroidery trim, which I avocado dyed. There are also some authentic vintage labels here. One ticket, one label. Another extract from the Latin French dictionary that I mentioned, the 19th century. From this side, again, pages from an antique French ledger. Here I have included this gorgeous antique photo. You can unfold the tuck spot like this. There is also an antique button, a vintage or antique postcard. I have also included here a cutout from the same tablecloth here that I mentioned. From this side, there is a pocket, I would say a double pocket. It can be used like a pocket from this side and here. The fabric is avocado dyed. I have stamped it. There is an authentic label from a Paris boutique shop. Sorry. Some linen thread card and a page like this, which comes from this diary, Les Grands Magasins du Printemps, from 1932. Here I have included this lovely advertisement of I would say linen shop, something like this, from this very old book. It's Paris Guide for Foreigners from 1877. And this extract le protocole mondain, reception, like the politeness rules, things like that. Comes from the diary Maison Petit Saint-Thomas for 1904. From this side, there is some vintage fabric background in the pocket and linen lace tack spot. There is this antique photo and a big journaling card with an authentic ledger paper behind and genuine silk Here there is a tuck spot that I have decorated with some very old linen. It can be used as an additional tuck spot. This flower is avocado dyed. There is an old glass bottom. There is this gorgeous menu from 1928. Plenty of journaling space. From this side there is a very nice charm paper clip and a fabulous blank bank check from 1930s. Another page from the Encyclopedia of Needlework. By the way, I would like to mention that all the paper clips in this journal are vintage French made. From this side there is a lovely belly band made of vintage lace and a journaling card like this. The picture is taken from the book Paris Mythique, 100 legendary photos from Paris. This book was published in 2013. I have also in my collection another book, Paris Mon Amour, and I would like just to show you the same picture. Here it is. It was taken, this photo, in 1951. It is called Waiting. This girl is waiting for somebody on a cafe terrace in Paris. There is this lovely old glass button, a French ledger paper behind. This space can be used as an additional tuck spot. Yeah, as you can see, I have embellished the card with some texture paste. The page here is coffee stained. I have learned how to coffee dye lace paper like this from one fantastic tutorial at the Junk Journal Ideas with Donna YouTube channel. Thank you very much, Donna. I will include the link to the tutorial below this video. Here, this page is from the 1920s French shop ledger. I have to show you this one because it's new in my collection and I didn't have an occasion to show it early. It is really gorgeous. And the napkin decoupage technique here, I have used this technique shown by Julie from Camellia Crafts Design in one of her tutorials. Thanks a lot, Julie. I will include below the link to her tutorial. Yes, this page here is absolutely special and rare. This is an unfinished lace on its template from the 19th century. Isn't it unbelievable? Here there is a tuck spot with a silk trim, an envelope from 1963. Here we have another gorgeous image of one of the Redouté's roses. The journaling card here. This image comes from one of the books on pre-Raphaelites that I have shown you. I have embellished it with this pressed rose petal, which I have sealed. And I am absolutely in love with this lace. I find it absolutely unique. Here there is a huge journaling card from one of the French ledgers, some fabric. Here we have another page from the unfinished lace on its template. You can see Doigt de Fée, Paris. Fairy's fingers. We can translate it like this. From this side, there is a page from the ledger that I have just shown you, which can be unfolded like this. Here there is an embroidered cuff, I would say, that I have stitched as a tuck spot. There is an old card with a rose, a vintage postcard, and an extract from an antique magazine. I believe it comes from this one. There will be more from this magazine, Journal des Ouvrages des Dames, the newspaper on needlework, I would say, from 1928. Here is a journaling card that I made from an antique ledger.